Hey everybody, Mr. Marino here, coming to you live from D202 at the MrMarinoScience Middle School. Today is Wednesday, September 27th, and this is this week's Midweek Update. As we move on to week 5.
That's right, 5 weeks down.
Many more to go.
I'm not counting. As we enter week 5, we are in our last week of assigned seats, which means next week we get new seating assignments, and that goes for homeroom too. Speaking of homeroom, building blocks has been going really well. This week in building blocks, on Monday and Tuesday, we took very special care and used our time very wisely and in a very empathetic way. There's a local teenager who's very sick and in the hospital. This is not the place to go into many details. However, our students have taken empathy and we have decided to write cards to that student. Cards include an inspirational quote, a small knock-knock joke or a riddle, a personalized message, and a very creative drawing. This week, as promised, we're moving into some oral presentations on our consensus models and many of the notabilities that we've been working on in regards to the collisions and action forces. We had a really cool lab using the blue carts in a collision lab. As you can see, 3 different scenarios were created. Students recorded their findings, created hypotheses, wrote some claims, and supported their claims with evidence. A laundry list of notice and wonders came from those reactions, and class discussions took place. This week has been loaded with scientific discussions. As a side note, we are moving into our autumn season. That's right. We are now officially into fall, which means the temperatures are going to be dropping. And out of an abundance of caution, most of the time my windows are open. So please encourage students to bring a hooded sweatshirt or a fleece to keep in their locker in case it gets cold in here. Ventilation is very key in my classroom. And so is all students being comfortable. So please make sure you dress warm to class. Some housekeeping items would be, students are reminded of some housekeeping items, such as checking Aspen daily to make sure the grades are all caught up, and if anything is missing, it's submitted. They're checking Google Classroom to make sure that if they were absent and they were missing an assignment, that they can submit it through there. And they're also looking for follow-up emails. Many students have been emailing me questions or concerns about any homework or in-school assignments. It's also imperative to make sure that you follow up and check to see if I responded to those emails. Speaking of communication, some phone calls have been made home. Don't worry, many of them are positive phone calls. As we are exiting the beginning of the year, I find that many students have made me very proud of them. This pride has motivated me to call home and tell some parents, hey, guess what? Your kid's doing really well, and we started off on the right foot. A couple parents answered a little confused, but that's okay. Make no mistake, some phone calls will be made home if certain expectations are not met and it becomes a habit. Rest assured, communication is the best way to avoid problems in the future. Other than that, things are really exciting in the classroom. Kids are demonstrating a high level of respect and hard work, and if you don't hear from me, consider that a good sign. If you hear from me, we'll just be patient and see what I have to say. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Midweek Update. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.